Welcome back to Late Night New England. You know, we always find the funny. Doing big things out in Hollywood, California, but originally from New Jersey. Please welcome to the program a very funny friend, Mr. Mike Marino. Hello, Michael.
Hey, man, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Michael. Right out of the gate, you have arguably the most interesting backdrop, Mike. What is that?
Well, I, like most comedians who got stuck in a pandemic, decided I'll do a podcast. And since I'm in the basement of the house I grew up in, I called my show Live from My Mother's Basement. The alcohol's here, and the meatball sandwiches are upstairs.
That is fantastic. So, yes, we are all coming out of the pandemic, and we were certainly uncertain of how it was all going to come out, but you are hunkered down. And Mike, my gosh, it's been at least 20 years. We used to perform and share stages and microphones out in LA. And tell us what you've been up to.
Well, I think since the time that you and I were kicking it in Los Angeles, running around making $25 in these barroom brawls, I ended up getting lucky, started touring the country, playing in different places around the world. And then in the last 6 years, I got to do mostly theaters. I, like a lot of different entertainers, got lucky on social media. I had a couple of clips that got viral exchanges up to about 1 million, 2 million views. And before you know it, 200-seat comedy club became a 2,000-seat theater, and life was just gorgeous.
Absolutely, and you have a great hook, Michael, and that's what it's all about in this business. People know that when they come, they're going to get real, heartfelt, true stories about you growing up in an Italian household.
Yeah, I'm glad you acknowledge it that way, because you do have to have some kind of a point of view, some kind of a message, and usually the funniest message any comedian can have is the truth.
Sure.
You know, and my family does come from Italy. We do bang each other in the head from time to time. There's a bunch of wooden spoons in this house that are cracked in half. I live on macaroni. I mean, come on, it is what it is. And then I went on the Byron Allen talk show, the show Comics Unleashed.
Sure.
And I don't know what it was about that day, but it was in the era where everybody was looking for Osama bin Laden. So I just said to myself, oh, yeah, well, if I was running the country, I wouldn't have sent the Army, the Navy, or the Marine Corps. 2 hitmen from Jersey be back in 24 hours, and the world went nuts. But I couldn't believe I said it. But in my head, I'm like, I'm not saying anything I don't really discuss with my family.
Well, sometimes, as comedians, we are receptors, always. We are receptors, we are sponges, and we take usually the most painful situations and try to make it fun and lighthearted.
Yeah, as much as we possibly can. And at that time, that was the biggest topic, and it just hit. And then I decided, well, what if I took some of my comedian friends and started pretending we were running for president of the United States in 2016, and we were having so much fun and just poking fun at it, and it was working. It was working. And then all of a sudden, all of this crap comes. So I'm thinking, well, now I'll run in 2024, and we'll start the race again.
Yeah. Respectfully, Mike, I don't think you've been running at all. But at any rate, enough of your pandemic girth. I joke with you, Michael. I love you. You're tough skinned. You're an East Coast kind of guy. I love that about you always. And your schedule, we are opening up. I'm booking gigs. Yesterday was the day we found out, May 29th, here in New England, we are officially opening up at full capacity. Me and you spoke earlier today. You're booked. You're going to Dubai?
Yeah, a friend of mine turned me on to an agency out in England. They looked at my work and just yesterday said, June 23rd through July 3rd, do you want to come? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a huge tour. I don't even know what I'm in for. I know a lot of comedians had gone out there. It's strictly a few comedy clubs. but they pay for your airfare, they pay for your stay, they pay for your food. You know it's going to be 5-star no matter what, so might as well go give it a chance.
Oh, absolutely. And people around the world are ready to laugh. I love your jokes. I appreciate what you do. I can relate growing up very close north of Providence and south of Boston. I've got the Italian wedge. And please enjoy Mr. Mike Marino doing what he does best.
My mother moved from Italy to New Jersey when she was about 14 years old. My mother's so Italian that she never worked a job and she never drove a car because her whole life was dedicated to making food for the family. That's what my mother did. My mother made food for 50 people every single day. They weren't there, but just in case they came, the food was waiting for everybody. And as soon as my relatives were done eating that food, my mother always said the same thing under her breath to one of her kids. They all better get a good look at this food that your mother just made because this is the last time I'm cooking it. Especially for the holidays. 55 years in a row is the last time my mother gonna cook for Thanksgiving. She's not gonna do it no more until Christmas comes. And then she'll cook and say the same thing. This is the last time I'm cooking for Christmas. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because your relatives don't appreciate when your mother cooks. You think they come over the house with coffee and cake? Oh, bring me some coffee and cake. You understand what your mother's trying to tell you? And I'm getting too old now. I can't do it no more. Somebody else in our family should take a turn and cook. I'll tell you what you do. Call your Uncle Leo. Tell him I said, take a picture of all your relatives eating. This is it. This is the last time I'm cooking. My mom has been saying this for so long and so often that I strongly believe it was my mother's greatest ancestor that was responsible for the Last Supper. And I can picture my mom back in biblical times, because my mother would have yelled at everybody, right? My mother would have been walking around going like this, excuse me, Jesus Christ, I want to talk to you about something. Come here, what's that? No, you are not the leader while you live in my house. You live in my house. I am the leader of my house. You understand me? Put your hair in a ponytail and put your slippers on. I don't like when you dress like that. Now, you let me tell you something about your friends, JC. These boys you keep calling the apostles, they don't appreciate when I cook. You think they'd offer me bread and wine or come over to the house with some bread and wine. You understand what your mother's trying to tell you, Jesus? And I'm getting too old now. I can't be doing this no more. Somebody else in our family should take a turn and cook. I'll tell you what you do. Call your friend Leonardo da Vinci, okay? Tell him I said paint a big picture of all your friends eating, because this is it. This is the Last Supper. And for 40 days and 40 nights, they fasted because she won't cook. Felisa came, and then she cooked, and that's why he rose again from the dead. He smelled the sauce and the meatballs. Jesus was in town.
So come on, what do you think, huh? Did I make you laugh? I bet you're laughing. I want to make you laugh more. Why don't you tell me what you think, okay? You can comment down here. You can hit the like button. You can watch some more videos right over here. Or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll always be in touch with you.
Always spot on, Mr. Marino. Michael, full speed ahead, safe travels. Obviously, people, your website is right there where people can find out your tour dates. They can say hello. You are a people person. You love your crowds. You like to make people smile and laugh, Michael.
I appreciate that. That's a great compliment. I really like what you just said. And yes, I do.
Yes, you do. It's our funny friend, Mr. Mike Marino. Now, you check him out and ask him for a secret recipe, because he will absolutely hook you up. It's Late Night New England. We found the funny with our friend, Mr. Mike Marino. More Late Night New England coming up.